I'm back. I'm back to my exercises. I took that deload week to make sure that I was connecting with my body and wasn't just rushing through my return to exercise postpartum. I also wanted to take care of some things that had been bothering me with my body, so I got some body work. As you can see, it's pretty beat up by cupping from Dr. Austin, who is a great chiropractic and kind of strength and conditioning coach here. He works with a lot of combat athletes, but just athletes in general. So highly recommend him. But anyway, so I took the week off again because I felt like I was kind of just pushing through, and I knew taking the week off would be a really big challenge to myself mentally. So I made it, and I'm excited to be back and working out because it feels really good to move my body, but also felt really good to just kind of take a week off and make sure I wasn't rushing, and kind of do like a self-check. So what I'm going to do today is I'm doing, again, a 3-week program. This is phase 2 of the program. And there are essentially 3 days of workouts, but you repeat those twice a week. So there's a 1 and 4 day, 2 and 5, and 3 and 6. So what we're going to do today is a heels elevated goblet squat that I'll walk you through, Romanian deadlifts, and a front foot lunge. And then I'm going to add in some Russian twist for my core work. And I'll talk about each of those. So we'll get into the workouts. But first, I want to touch on nutrition. So I was about averaging 2,400 to 2,500 calories for the week. Protein was outstanding. I was really happy with how much I was having there. Again, when I tracked my calories, I didn't change anything that I would do if I wasn't tracking. So I just wanted to see where am I falling. And I'm about that 24 to 25, but I'm still hungry. So I'm wanting to make sure that I'm not going like, ooh, I'm hungry. Am I going to get a fat loss phase too out of this where I can double dip for breastfeeding and fat loss phase? Because that's actually very challenging to do without a drop in supply or a drop in strength or a drop in how your body's recovering. So when I looked at my calories on average, I ended up increasing to 2,600. And so I'll track for a bit just to make sure I'm hitting that. And then it's going to give me a visual of what that actually looks like as far as portion size. I don't know if I'll continue tracking once I kind of get more comfortable with the sizing, or if I'll take a break and just kind of go back. So we'll see what we do there. Body image wise, again, still working on that. I've talked a bit about that on some of my other episodes, but there's not much going on there. Just making sure that I'm keeping that in check and making sure that I'm talking to myself about like I'm only 6 weeks, 7 weeks now. Postpartum, it's going to take time. I don't want to enter into a phase that's going to interrupt my recovery or my milk supply. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. Overall, I mean, I feel like sometimes I look pretty good, sometimes I don't. I put on a pair, or I was going to put on a pair of jeans because I was like, let's see how they feel. But before I did that, I was like, I need to like think through this because chances are they're not going to fit. Because they fit really well when I was prior to pregnancy. So it was a conversation that I had with myself in my head of, I'm going to try these on. What am I going to do if they don't fit? Because chances are they won't. I'm not going to be like, oh, of course they fucking don't. Like, I need to lose weight right now. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm still so like overweight from pregnancy. So I told myself like, they're probably not going to fit, but let's try. If they don't, it's okay, because honestly, I don't really want to wear jeans. I like wearing my comfy like leisure wear or my pajamas. And if I want to wear jeans, I can go buy some new ones. I've got a gift card to the store that I like to get jeans from. So let's just take that into consideration. Also, I'm not going to try and fit in them, meaning I'm not going to try and pull them up and like wiggle my butt and jump up and down for them to fit. I'm going to get them to where they do. And if they fit over my butt and in my waist, great. If they don't, we're taking them off. So I got about to like just above my knee, didn't fit anymore. I took them off, but I said, well, that's okay. Put them back. It doesn't mean I'm going to beat myself up over it. In the past, I would have. And I'm sure a lot of you would identify with like, holy cow, I wouldn't even try on jeans because I'm so scared of what's going to happen. Or when I did, I had a complete meltdown. I mean, both of those could have happened to me. But I just, again, prefaced it with like a nice conversation with myself prior to putting on like pre-pregnancy clothes. So I would encourage everybody to do that as well. So let's get into the workout. So the first exercise we're doing is heels elevated goblet squats. These are just some platforms that I have. I think I got them off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description as usual. You can also use a plate if you have one, so like a plate for the barbell. So I'm just going to put these down. When we do a heels elevated goblet squat, usually our feet are a bit more narrow compared to when we do a full squat. So if I was going to squat normally, when I was doing goblet squats the other week, I was having a wider stance. For here, we're going to go a bit more narrow because we're focusing on the quads. So sometimes postpartum, picking up something can create some challenges, or maybe we're just not ready to kind of go through that full range of motion. So you can bring a bench or maybe a table if you're doing this at home up until like kind of your mid waist or even down below. So I'm not having to go all the way to the ground to pick this up. So essentially I would pull it from here. So it's shortening that range of motion that I've got to pull. I'd highly recommend that if you're noticing some pelvic floor symptoms. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to pick this up, exhale. Coming up, I'm getting it in my goblet position. So my palms are kind of cradling the dumbbell, I guess we'll say. Feet are a bit narrow. I want them at the same kind of height up on the platform so I can come down here, or I can walk back and make it a bit more challenging with the incline. So I'm just going to squat down. Again, my knees are going to track forward over my toes. And I'm going to inhale and exhale as I come up. I should, again, feel this more in my quads. Whereas maybe if we're doing like a sumo squat or a goblet squat in general, we want to feel it more in the butt if we want to. And so I'm just going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 of those with a 45-second rest now. So as you can tell, I did the workout, but now I'm going to show you because I only have so much time. I wanted to make sure I got the workout in before filming a video for YouTube. You're going to be a bit more winded because of that shorter rest. You may consider going down in weight because of the shorter rest, or you may consider going up in weight because you feel like you've progressively overloaded at that time. Now, whether you stay at the same weight or go down in weight with that shorter rest, you're still progressively overloading. So that's exercise 1. Now we'll go into the Romanian deadlifts. So for the Romanian deadlifts, what we're going to focus on more so is hamstrings and butt. Conventional deadlifts, there's a lot more bend in the knees, but Romanian deadlifts is kind of a hinge back. Oh, there's my baby. Ready? Okay, we're back. So Romanian deadlifts, again, like I was saying, it's going to be a lot more hinge of the hips, but with a lot more emphasis on the glutes and the hamstrings. With a conventional deadlift, there's usually a little bit more give in the knees. If you can see, I'm bending them a lot more. With a Romanian deadlift, I'm almost kind of keeping those knees in that locked kind of slight bend shape, or I guess position, and I'm coming down and back. So I'm going to do 3 sets, 8 to 10 of those with a 45-second rest. Again, when we're doing these, we want to make sure that those shoulders are back and engaged. So if I'm going to come up here, I'm going to kind of have a nice core, thinking of bringing everything in. I'm hinging back, so butt is going back, back, back. And even we can use the rack here. Sorry, I'm kind of got a mess going on. As my point for where do I want my butt to go to. And I'll often do this with clients with the wall, is say, okay, bring your butt back towards the wall. So shoulders down and back, butt's coming back. And I might just go to this mid-thigh, or mid-calf, length, instead of going all the way down and up. You can also do this with a barbell, but for my timing purposes, barbell I've got to set up. I need to bring it out. It's a lot more weight, and I'm not sure I'm really there yet. And so I don't want to put that in my mind of the weight that I want to use. So it's just easier to grab dumbbells, and especially the adjustable dumbbells. So goblet squats with the heels elevated, and then we got Romanian deadlifts. And then I'm going to show you the front lunge that I'm going to do. So with the front lunge, I'm going to have a weight in both hands. All I'm going to do is come forward, lunge down, push my foot up, and then come back. And what I mean by pushing my foot up, let me take my shoes off so you can see, which will also provide you a bit more stability. So anytime you can do exercises barefoot, in socks, or even if you have a garage gym, I like these kind of floppy slippers because the ground is cold. And so these are nice to work through exercises with. But with the front lunge that I'm doing is I'm going to do one foot and then the other foot. So I'm not going to alternate. I'm going to come down. And what I'm thinking of when I push my foot into the floor is pushing foot into the floor to provide stability. And then I'm going to come back up. What I don't want is you to kind of be all wobbly and getting through it. We either need to lighten the weight or we're just doing body weight and going slow. I also have a slight lean forward. So if I'm going to take the lunge, coming down, and if you can see, I'm not upright all the way, I'm kind of forward. And that's because I'm putting more emphasis on my butt. So thinking of like if I'm in a track and I'm going to run, I'm going to push off through my foot, but emphasizing glute, 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 coming up, coming back. So I'm going to repeat that for 8 to 10 reps. Then I'm going to switch sides, take my 45-second rest. Some other things. So like I said, if you're wobbly and your knee's coming in, we need to make sure that we're either lightening the weight, going slower, or another thing that I like clients to do is they can take a rubber band and we can put knee or foot through here. So this band is going to help keep kind of that pull with the knee. I'm not demonstrating it really well. I would do it differently if a client was with me in person or say on a video virtually. But this band is going to pull that leg towards the rack. So it's going to be really hard for my foot to fall in and collapse. Some reason, and sometimes that this happens, is the foot is falling in and collapsing, so we need to strengthen the foot, maybe the hip or the knee. There's a breakdown in the chain here. So this is a good exercise where you would just do it stationary to kind of help pull everything back in and stay more upright. If you're falling on the outside of the foot, we might, again, think of the foot planted where we're not even taking that step. We're just staying in that stationary lunge and staying here. And again, always back off the weight too. So we'll go into the next exercise, Russian twist. I included Russian twist in my Cure Mommy Tummy video, so you're welcome to peep that for some other options for ab exercises. But the way I like to do Russian twist is I have a med ball right behind my back that's going to provide me some stability here. With that, so instead of just kind of being able to hold up my own, I can do it this way and just kind of open and close. If you don't have a med ball or like a soccer ball or some kind of ball that your kids have, works totally fine. So I'm just going to put this, so I'm not utilizing my back as much and I'm really focusing on the core. It just helps provide additional support. So I'm going to keep my feet on the ground. You'll also see, again, sometimes Russian twists were like this. I don't feel like I have that stability. And I also know from the past, like what I'm doing this way provided me a lot more core engagement than trying to figure out all of these components. Also, that's really hard on my hip flexors right now, and I feel it in my pelvis. So again, ball is stability. I'm going to take a slight lean back. So I'm still having that lean back. Hands on my belly to provide tactile feedback. And I'm just going to turn and rotate. Turn, rotate towards that center. So inhaling, exhaling, or you can exhale and inhale. It depends on how you feel your body and which feels better for you. I tend to prefer an exhale, inhale, exhale. One thing that I'm keeping my hands on for my belly floor is that I'm not kind of creating a pooch, and that I'm also, so let me take my pants down because that'll help us see. So, and then I'm also not feeling like a huge separation here. So overall, I don't have, I would say I probably have a 1 finger gap DR, and even now it might be gone by now. Some ab separation is normal throughout postpartum, but we do want to bring the abs back together because remember, they separated because of baby. Now we're bringing them back together, but we also want to be able to create tension there. So I'm keeping my hands on my belly to make sure that there is tension that's being created, but I'm also making sure that I'm not having a huge gap right here that I could shove my hand through. And I'm also telling my brain to reconnect to this part of my body. So a lot going on there already, and I haven't even moved. So that's why I don't like taking clients through this kind of Russian twist, because now I've got those components that I got to think of. I got to think of, okay, can my hip flexors kind of disengage where I'm not utilizing those? And then also I got to keep up my back. What I'll often find here too with the Russian twist is that we're utilizing our back to twist and not our obliques. So this is an oblique exercise which is the outside muscles here. So we've got the rectus abdominis, which is like the 8-pack, transverse, which is inside here, and then we've got the obliques, which are the ones that wrap around. So we want to make sure those ones are the ones that are working too. So similar thing here, I'm going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10, and you can say I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, or 1, 1, 1, or 2, 2, excuse me. It really depends on the level that you're at. So for example, if I'm just doing this exercise for the first time and I'm getting back to exercise and I haven't in a while postpartum, I'm going to probably do 1, 2, 3, 4. If I've been doing it, maybe this is my 3rd week of it, my abs are feeling strong, I might do 1, 1, 2, 2, and only go up to 8. It really depends, but you've got to be honest with yourself, especially with the core stuff. So like I said, we've got the goblet squats with the heels elevated. We have got the Romanian deadlifts. Then we've got the front foot lunges. Excuse me, I have like brain fart today. And then I've got Russian twist for day 1 and day 4 of this 3-week series. 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, and I'm going to take a 45-second rest. All right, so then we'll go for video 2 and 3, which is going to show you the other day exercises that I'm going to do for this phase. And so again, 45-second rest, 3 sets, 8 to 10. If you have any questions, please put them below in the comments so I can get them answered for you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you thought it was helpful.